Art. Art is a combination of pure imagination and creativity, expressed through many different forms such as painting, sculpture, photography, drawing, and so on. All of these are considered art in their own field, because art does not only come in a single form. Art is predominant and it can be created from anything, as long as you have the imagination, creativity, and determination. A good example of art would be the Philippine arts. According to an article called Art of the Philippines from Hisor.com, Philippine arts are mostly known for architecture, weavings, carvings, performances, poetry, and even street arts. Every art has their own distinct qualities and characteristics that will easily make them recognizable. Let's take Japanese art as an example. Japanese art is known for its very creative way of expressing different characteristics, such as their own culture and religious iconography. What makes Japanese art truly in Japanese art is the way they use traditional ways of using calligraphy when creating arts. Through this, people will easily recognize that a Japanese art is indeed Japanese. Of course, the usage of calligraphy is not the only indication that makes a Japanese art Japanese. Going back to Philippine arts, Philippine arts also have their own distinctive and dynamic characteristics that will make them easily recognizable as a true Filipino art. Some of the famous Filipino artworks are Spolarium, which was done in 1884, Fruit Gatherer in 1950, Planting Rice in 1949, The Bird Seller in 1976, and lastly, the first mast at Limasawa in 1965. All of these Philippine artworks are tremendously stunning and breathtaking. Each one of these artworks shares the same element that makes them a very recognizable Filipino art. There are 7 provinces that can be found in the central Luzon region. The entirety of the video will focus on these regions, which are Aurora, Bataan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Tarlac, and Zambales. 14 cities can also be found in the central region, and these cities are Angeles City, Balanga, Cabanatuan, Gapan, Mabalacat, Malolos, Maykawiyan, Munoz, Olongapo, Palayan, San Fernando, San Jose del Monte, and Tarlac City. The central region is mostly known for its incredible reputation in producing rice supplies. It even earned a nickname called Rice Granary of the Philippines. In terms of Philippine art, each region has their own signature art styles. According to the Department of Trade and Industry, the Central Luzon arts are mostly focused on performances such as dancing, architecture such as statues, places such as historical sites, and traditions such as folk activities. So, what exactly makes Philippine art Filipino? To answer this question, we will be showing a series of conducted interviews that not only discusses the proposed topic question, but also about regions and Philippine arts in general.
Hello, my name is Devon Lee. I will be your interviewer for today. So, can you briefly tell us about yourself?
Hi, this is Fred Reyomales, 45 years of age, a graduate of Fine Arts in FEU, major in advertising. I am a graphic designer for 25 years. Throughout my career, I have been a designer on local companies doing their marketing collaterals and graphical needs.
What do you do for a living?
Currently, I'm doing freelancing graphic design works with local clients involved in medical, foods, and skincare, and also doing works through online platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, and Outsourced.
Was there a realization or a calling for you to be involved in the creative industry?
Every child is fascinated by cartoons, comics, and animation, which give me interest since childhood and fueled my desire to do some of my original comic artworks and hone my talent through the years and makes me become what I am today.
What is your field of expertise in the creative industry?
Since I've graduated from college, I've been into advertising and printing press companies, and I excel doing projects that needs creative layout and concepts.
Do you have any important experiences that you would like to share with us about joining the creative industry?
Being new in creative corporate world is very challenging. It takes a lot of patience to please keen eyes. A word of advice for me is there is no best art achieved by doing quickly. Art designs takes time with heartful passion and thinking to come out the very best of it. Take it easy and put your heart and mind to every challenging task that given unto you and have fun.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with arts in your region when you were young?
I have a lot of fun moments doing traditional art. When I was a second grader, most of my experiences comes from joining art competitions in school and also inter-school contests. Some of the kids those days love drawing cartoon characters. I also do cartoons, but in art competition I'm different. That is the time I'm using my artist talent to do pop arts, still life, expressionism, and surreal art. That makes me won contests way back.
What kind of art forms were you specifically interested in?
I'm a traditional artist and I'm interested in surreal art. I love the arts of Salvador Dali, Picasso, Boris Frazetta, and Dupre. I also appreciate modern art like digital painting, but the experience of oil and acrylic painting on canvas is in different level that computer art can't give.
What was so interesting about these art forms that they caught your interest and attention?
Surreal art is different when it comes to graphic approach. It aims to revolutionize the human visual experience. It balances a rational vision of life with one that asserts unconscious and dreams.
Can you tell me a bit more about the art forms from your regions of origin and how is it different from the other regions?
I grew up in a city near historical places since Spanish colonial era. It is also where some of Philippine traditional art originates. In UST, you can see the painting Gabinete de Física, the famous Spolarium in Museum of Fine Arts in Manila. For me, art differs through artists' influences and vision. Also, their time and era contributes on the themes of it.
Final question. As someone who grew up in this region, what do you think makes a work of art Filipino?
For example, in Manila during 1800s, our heroes Jose Rizal and Juan Luna both studied at Ateneo in UST. They're great artists during their young times at school. Rizal did painting like Saturnina and Spanish coat of arms, while Luna, although continued his studies in other country, did the famous Polarium, Battle of Lepanto, the Blood Compact, and so on. Knowing that their art were created during Spanish time, the touch and drama of being Filipino is there. We can see the influence of everyday life and surroundings done in the genre of realism and Expressionism style.
Hello po, good evening. So I'm going to proceed with the number one question. Can you briefly tell us about yourself? Sure. Well, I'm Erica Jane. I'm just a simple girl who loves to explore new things or hobbies. I also love arts, but honestly, I'm not good at it. Number two question. What do you do for a living? As of now, I'm just a college student, so I'm not working yet. Number three question. Was there a realization or a calling for you to be involved in the creative industry? I think none, but one of my favorite hobbies are sketching and painting. For the number 4 question to number 6 question, my answer is none. For the number 7 question, what kind of art forms were you specifically interested in? Painting is one of the art form that I'm so interested because I love how colorful it is, and it also inspires me every time I see different paintings. Number 8 question. What was so interesting about these art forms that they caught your interest and attention? It has different styles and how artists paint in different ways and how they portray it with different perspective. Number 9 question. Can you tell me a bit more about the art forms from your region of origin and how is it different from the other regions? Among the region's festivities, celebrations, and religion site, Giant Lantern Festival and Aguman Sandok is one of those art forms specifically performing artists and making of lanterns, and also sculpture is origin here in Region 3. And lastly, number 10 question. As someone who grew up in this region, what do you think makes a art or a work of art Filipino? I think it makes a work of art Filipino by means of performing arts, pottery, and other artistic expressions of tradition culture. We all know that those are some artworks that signifies being a Filipino. And that's all. Thank you.